what do you include? Are you just talking about physical principles like natural laws and forces and such, or are you
I
talking
think that's
about
all part
other
of the spiritual.
No, I'm going to get into morality. Say morality, that's some part of the divine laws. And
Morality is, I would say that's a philosophical issue, but I think that we do best when we're in harmony, we'll say, with the divine principles that I think,
like the
It
divine
gets-
principle of
this is
gravity,
where it
don't
gets
come off
difficult.
building.
like I say, I think when we fall out of harmony with the divine laws, in the Hermetic sense, 7, you know, the principle of
Explain what he
vibration.
made, please.
Yeah, and if you fall out of, say, our body falls out of harmony with the vibration. We know everything in the universe vibrates. The Hermeticists said that 10,000 years ago. And in fact, you have to be careful. I'm a scientist. I read all my journals, but sometimes you don't want to be sacrificed on the altar of academia or scholarship. And we've seen a lot of people that great scientists have been. Galileo was virtually, you know, destroyed, and he was right, you know. So, but the things as we learn. So I'm trying to think where I'm going with this, but things. So back to the vibration. We saw that, and also we know the civilization goes back beyond 10,000 years. They have a dig in Turkey that's 10,000 years old in Topeka. And so archaeology, that's just one example of, like, we'll say it's a soft, I'll do the Big Bang Theory in the shell. Archaeology is a soft science, you know. But
Sheldon said that?
well, he calls geology the soft science.
Oh, okay.
That was my minor, so I guess. But they thought the timelines are wrong. And archaeology is proving that the timelines are wrong. The pyramids may be older. We found a civilization 10,000 BC.
You use the word there, it's not apropos, you said proven, that's not.
Well, they've actually dated it.
Dated by rocks, right?
And of course, you date things organically in the carbon dating
Carbon
and stuff.
14.
So I have.
Are you sure that that's absolutely right?
They have found strong evidence, and I'll get the evidence for the next thing. So.
Well, I mean, you can count, if you take something that can be dated.
Well,
carbon
as
14.
we've talked before, the geological record says that the Earth is billions of years
Yeah,
old. So
I know
whatever.
that.
So, but the point is, I'm getting back to the fundamentals of, say, vibration. And you can say morality, and I'll say morality, you know, if we hurt somebody, that's wrong, because we're destroying their harmony. So that's wrong. I mean, you can look at it just from a purely philosophy point of view, or hermetic philosophy. So there's also the principle of the ebb and flow, and the cause and effect. There's every cause has an effect. That scientific principle, us the hermetic scientists know
That's
this.
that's not really true, by the way.
Oh, I think it is
Is it
true.
right?
Oh, yeah.
So what started the universe?
What? The cause was the
What
divine
caused the universe?
cause.
What caused it?
There was a divine cause. I don't know.
Okay, so
I
that,
know there's a
so
spiritual reason for it.
there is something that was caused that nobody knows.
But we know
don't
that
the cause,
the effect of the causes, be it scientific, the Big Bang, and whatever the Big Bang
That
was,
doesn't-
we're the effects of the Big Bang, or I've given a lot of credence to the continuous universe, that there, 10% of the scientists only believe in a continuous universe, that we're, you know, but the BigAng is 90%. I've read both.
Your scientists that get into continuous universe and multi-universes don't know anything about it.
I think they're some pretty
Oh,
smart
really?
people, but
You got evidence for multi-universes, do you?
Or
a universe that goes on forever, you got evidence for that, do we?
Well, I think by planting the thought, and every another hermetic thing is all is in thought, all begins with thought. So the thought is we'll say is the seed.
You're going in directions that these people don't understand, so.
Okay, we're going to.
That's
I'm
right.
just saying there's more to the whole darn
Okay.
thing than.
I understand.
And I think there is.
I think there is too.
There's a spiritual core to this, which is part of our existence as human beings.
Okay, I would agree with you.
And there is growth, and we are growing, and we are, and I think that's part of the humans. One of the things is the learning experience here on Earth, Schoolhouse Earth, and that's part of, I think, the divine plan too, is that we're supposed to learn and grow.
Okay,
And science is learning and
I
growing.
agree, you should learn.
And
and grow.
science, the key to science is that we should be seeking the truth, wherever
That's
it takes
true,
us.
wherever it takes us, I agree. Now, anybody else? Okay, Harry,
You know,
that's a theological question, Harry.
no,
Okay.
if everybody believed as you did, Jerry, you know, we'd have no science of cosmology, we'd have no science of anthropology. Archaeology might have a small group of people who want to dig in a holy land. But there's no need for those sciences because Genesis explains everything. So, but we do.
Okay, I think you just explained why evolutionary biologists and archaeologists by far wouldn't believe in the Bible, because they would be worthless, I guess, what they say, or geology and all that. So what I'm saying is, what you're saying is not true. You see, God made a very complex universe, whether it be human being, whether it be microscopic, maybe macroscopic. He made a very complex universe that we know very little about, really. So there would be all kinds of opportunities and calling for us to understand it. Just because God made it doesn't shut down scientific thought.
I don't know why you'd want to study anthropology.
Well, it's interesting to know how man came about, how his organizational skills came about. I mean, I don't know what anthropology is. I have no desire to study anthropology. But, you
I don't
know,
get it, but you don't need to.
yeah, that's right. You're basically right. In some areas, I would say there's no need to study that science, and I would agree with you. And maybe that's true. What's the big deal?
If
What's the
man
big
had
deal?
never, if man had never fallen, we wouldn't need to do that. We wouldn't be even thinking about doing it. It's because.
I'm gonna see if anybody else
fall
first.
that all this happened.
Then we'll be next. Anybody else?
There are cultures out there that believe that.
That believe what?
They have set a date that this is when things began, and that's it.
Sure.
And the rest of history, they ignore.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter
Yes,
to
Bill.
them.
Since your missus attributed the shortcomings of DNA and the birth defects and everything else to the fall of man in the Garden of Eden, then I'm not sure how you reconcile that with the exact same problems occurring in other animals and plants, for that matter. That there are abnormalities, there are birth defects, there are genetic defects that result in extra limbs or missing limbs, and all of these kind of problems. Diseases occur in the rest of the animals, the same as mankind. So is Genesis teaching us that God put a curse? God put the same curse on the plants?
Absolutely.
You said
Animals?
it, yes.
Absolutely.
Because
Hey,
Adam,
look, let me
Adam
tell
made
you.
the
Do you know what causes all those things you
he
mentioned?
put the curse on all the other plants and animals.
You're a scientist. Do you know what causes all those things that you're talking about? Extra limbs and disease and all that stuff?
Random mutations of DNA.
Yeah, that's right. And we all have DNA. So we're in a world, there are random mutations of DNA. And yes, all of them happen to everything.
And
So
that,
why is that a
and
problem?
that was the case even before Adam ate the apple. Or was it perfect before Adam ate the
No,
apple?
everything was perfect before Adam sinned. I'm talking about Christian
So
theology.
none
which I
of
agree
the
with.
animals had birth defects, none of the
Yeah,
animals.
before that, no.
No.
They didn't need any other animals either.
And so none of the tigers had canine teeth to kill the.
Can I make one?
Is-
Hey, God
Let me ask you-
God gave man and the animals permission to eat meat, okay, after the fall. So yes, the animals, just, you know, they have a lot of animals that have teeth that look like they eat meat. No, they eat plants with those teeth. You can't just go by the fact that a tooth looks like something and it does something else.
I just.